And thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring the KRIM Community Spotlight Program. Good morning, Rim Country. Chris Higgins in the studio, enjoying this beautiful morning. I hope you guys, again, are having a wonderful morning wherever you are. And we are streaming live on the KRIM FM Facebook page. So if you have the opportunity today, I would really encourage you to tune in or check out our Facebook page and our Community Spotlight Live, because we have in the studio special guest Barb Schumacher, and she is the president of Toastmasters International here in Payson. Good morning, Barb.
Good morning, Chris. Thank you so much for having me here today.
You are so very welcome, and one of the reasons I encourage you to tune in is because Barb brought in her trophy. She was awarded the Outstanding Toastmasters of 2022 award, and it is a massive trophy, and we will talk about that a little bit later. But first, Barb, can you tell those that are listening, if they're not familiar with Toastmasters International, can you give a little background of what it is?
Absolutely, and thank you for that. Toastmasters was founded by a gentleman named Ralph Smedley back in 1924, so we're almost 100 years old now.
Wow.
And it originally began in a YMCA designed to help young men speak and present themselves better, because in the 20s, when we were suffering nationwide with a depression and people were not well educated then, many people had no more than a third grade education back then, and they didn't have enough education to be able to speak well and interview for jobs as well as they should have been able. So Ralph Smedley organized this group of young men to help them present themselves better, to learn how to speak on their feet and answer interview questions when applying for a job, to give them a competitive edge over and above the other people who were also looking for that same job. It has grown considerably since then. We're in over 149 countries. There's over 300,000 Toastmasters internationally. And Toastmasters is the third district in Arizona, or actually Toastmasters District 3 in Arizona is the third district in the world for Toastmasters. But we have a club right here in Payson that started 1 year ago, which I founded.
That is wonderful. So the goal now of Toastmasters, is it still to help people in interviews, or has it really expanded?
It has expanded, but we do still offer people the opportunity to come in and practice in a mock interview, for example, or if they want to give a speech at a business meeting anywhere, whether it's at work or a wedding or wherever, they can come to the group and practice delivery of that speech and get feedback from our members on what they liked best and what might be done for improving the speech to make it a little better. And that way they can go out in the world and deliver their speech more effectively. And we help people in other ways too. It's a social group. We have a lot of fun in that group. It isn't 100% learning new things. We laugh. We have a camaraderie with each other. We're a very supportive group. And it helps people stay alert and mentally acute, so that you can live longer and have a better life.
Who doesn't want that?
Exactly. Who does not want that?
So where do you meet, and how often do you meet?
We meet weekly on Tuesday evenings from 6:30 to 7:45, and we meet at something affectionately known as the boardroom. It is right next door to Tiny's Restaurant in Suite 1 at 600 East Highway 260.
Okay, so the boardroom, right next to Tiny's, huh?
Yes, we call it the boardroom because That suite of offices belongs to a doctor, and he uses that boardroom for his business, but has donated that room to us for Payson, so we don't have any club dues. That's nice.
That's very nice. So the Toastmasters group here in Payson, is it open to all ages, or is it 18 and older?
It's 18 and over, yes.
Okay. Yeah, if you're 18 and even in school probably, you still would be able to come, say if you were preparing for graduating and job interviews, or you just would like to have more confidence when speaking in front of people.
Absolutely. Toastmasters most definitely builds confidence. Absolutely. And not just in the group itself, but outside in the real world.
Well, again, we're streaming on our KRIM FM Facebook page, and I would love to hear from anyone. We have a few people watching: Debbie Henderson, Steve Jones, Renee Robling. But if anyone has participated in Toastmasters or is a member of Toastmasters, it would be great to hear from you on our Facebook Live. Or if you're interested in joining, you said there were not any membership dues, so is it just a matter of showing up to a meeting?
Well, there are international dues,
Okay.
but they're very reasonable. It's only $45 every 6 months. They're payable in April and the 1st of October,
Okay.
but they also prorate. So if you join in September, for example, it's $7.50 plus that $45 for membership that takes you all the way through next March 30th, so that you can renew in April for another 6 months at $45. If you are a former Toastmaster, we can find your membership number from a club where you used to belong. You do not have to pay the one-time only $20 membership fee. And after all these years, it's still just $20. But if you are a brand new member, you get that $20 back immediately, plus a whole lot more, because your very first manual, which is digital format, is worth $20. So you get enough material to work the program for at least a year out of that one manual. It's awesome.
Wow. Oh, that is great. Again, talking with Barb Schumacher, the president of Toastmasters International, the club here in Payson. And how long have you been a member of Toastmasters?
I joined Toastmasters in December of 2001. Not realizing it was an international organization. Came to a meeting by invitation from someone who asked me if I would like to hear a speech she was giving about delivering a baby in the back seat of a Mustang. And I said, sure,
That sounds
I
interesting.
would love to hear that. So I went to the group. There were 35 people in the room. They were all smiling, they were happy, they were laughing at things that were happening during the meeting, and I looked around and listened to 3 wonderful speeches, including my friends, and I realized I'm missing out if I'm not a part of this group, because I owned a business and I knew that I would be able to communicate with my customers better if I could speak the way these people did. So I joined immediately. And I've never looked back. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made in my lifetime.
Wow, so a member for 21 years. And then this year, you received this incredible honor, being awarded the Outstanding Toastmaster of the Year for 2022. And this is for District 3, which you said is basically the entire state of Arizona?
Yes. Yuma is part of California.
Okay.
And the very top part of northern Arizona does not belong to District 3. But everything else does.
Wow. And now there are names going how far back?
To 1973. The back side of this trophy has names all the way down that side of it, as does this. And my name is here.
Wow.
And you can see there's room for a lot more for years to come.
Yes. Wow. That is an impressive trophy. And Also, this year you were awarded or given another award.
Yes.
And can you share with us what that was?
Yes, this vest that I am wearing belonged to a past district governor. His name is Juris Kursalis. He came to the United States from Latvia. He escaped a very terrible environment there and fell in love with America and all that America stands for. And he found a Toastmasters club very similar to the way I found a Toastmasters club. Became enamored with it immediately and worked his way up to the trio, which is the 3 top spots that govern the district here, and became the district, well, we call it district director now, but it was district governor at the time, and was so in love and with Toastmasters, went to every meeting, always wore this vest to every special event.
Wow.
And as time went on and he gathered ribbons and pins, he added them to the vest. And now, since his passing, it has been handed down from one year to the next to another member who has shown outstanding work within the district.
Wow, that is something. I love the button that says, I was there, Phoenix 1981, and that was for the 50th anniversary of the Phoenix Club, District 3
That's correct.
of Toastmasters International. And before the program, you were saying that the numbers are awarded to the different districts in order as they're created.
That's correct.
So Phoenix and Arizona was the 3rd district in Toastmasters International.
That's right.
Wow, there's some history there. Yeah, and that's such a special vest. It's great looking at all the different buttons and the history.
Yes.
Just everything that has happened over the years in our country, in the world. It's great. So you said Toastmasters is international. How many countries again total?
I believe there's 149 at the moment, and it's still growing.
Yeah.
A lot of them were so far apart, or are so far apart, that they've been familiar with using things like Zoom, for example, for a long time. It was not allowed here in the United States until COVID came along, and then it was a choice of we either fold or we do something about this, and no one is going to fold because Toastmasters is far too valuable. And every member who's been around for 10, 20, 30 years knows that they need Toastmasters. We learn something every single week that helps us in our daily lives. It's absolutely amazing.
So if you could just give an example maybe of a meeting, and if someone is new and they went to a meeting for the first time, what they would experience.
We have an agenda, which some people think is very formal. I personally don't. If you don't have an agenda, it's like that line from Alice in Wonderland. If you don't know where you're going, you'll probably not get there.
Yes.
So we begin with an opening. We always have a pledge allegiance to the flag. Sometimes there's an inspirational thought or an educational moment. And at that point, someone in the group, we all take turns with these different roles. Someone in the club stands up and gives a little tip on how to do something that we all do, like how to tell a joke or how to be a general evaluator, things like that. And then the Toastmaster is introduced after the opening of that meeting, and the Toastmaster introduces all the functionaries, so we have a timer because the speeches are timed. We need that discipline so that we don't talk randomly forever. And we have a general evaluator who gives an evaluation of the meeting as a whole at the end, so that we know what we did well and what we could improve upon. Each speaker, each formal speaker, talks anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes on an average. And has an evaluator who speaks for 3 minutes about the speech that was heard and what could be done better and what was done that was exceptional. We have something called an ah counter. If you've ever watched television, especially the news and politicians, we can hear all the ums and ahs in their speeches, right? You don't pay attention to them until you become a Toastmaster. And the minute you're introduced to what an ah counter is, it's forever in your mind. You notice everyone afterwards, and pretty soon you stop doing it yourself. It's quite wonderful. It improves your speech. It really and truly does.
Yes, I've been trying very hard this morning because I find myself doing that, those verbal pauses.
Right.
It's so hard not to,
Yes.
especially when it becomes a habit. And you find yourself, whether it's whatever it is, instead of just having silence, just pausing, collect your thoughts, and start talking again. It is filled with that. So, and a lot of times you don't even realize, and people don't realize that they're doing that.
Yes. It's a very human reaction. Very normal.
Yes. So do you film? Do you video any of the presentations?
If someone asks for a presentation to be videoed, we can do that.
Okay.
But it also requires everyone else in the group to agree to it, because some people don't want to be filmed. If that happens at Pace and Toastmasters, we just move their chair out of the view so that we're viewing only the person who wants to be videotaped. And then the person has an opportunity to take that recording home and look at it, review it, figure out what he can do to make his speech better, especially if it's contest season, and go from there. So it's actually what we respect everyone's wishes.
I remember in the Air Force in leadership school, we gave speeches, and we gave 2 different speeches or presentations. The first was on a topic that we were very familiar with. So the instructor said, pick a topic that is something that you're very familiar with, that you can explain or present to the group. So that was very easy. You just pick maybe part of your job, something that you do every day, and you explain it to the group. Very easy. The second presentation, though, was a random topic that he had written topics on pieces of paper, and we picked them out of a hat. So then we had to give a presentation on whatever we picked. And we had maybe 10-15 minutes to prepare. So it was an impromptu speech. And that was a lot more difficult. Wow, I couldn't believe, and you just felt like everyone's looking at you. And it was very interesting, though, but it really showed us how to speak on our feet and present on the spur of the moment.
Yes.
And that you do not want to say that much. Less is better.
I agree. Sometimes, though, we have a table topic session, and that's exactly what you just said, really, except that we speak for only 1 to 2 minutes. The table topics master will ask a question, usually to those people who are not giving a formal speech. And that way every person in the group has the opportunity to speak and say something about something that's going on within that particular meeting. And there's always a theme of the meeting. Last night at Pace and Toastmasters Club, our meeting theme was celestial sightings. So the table topics master picked questions that were about celestial sightings. It's usually the Toastmaster who picks the meeting theme, but not always. Sometimes the programmer does that. We all follow the same rules, but every club has a little bit different culture. And the reason I started Pace and Toastmasters, actually, is because when I moved here 4 years ago, everything was 2 hours away. The
Yes.
nearest club was in Flagstaff or
Oh.
Prescott Valley
Mhm.
or Show Low. And Show Low's not literally 2 hours away, but after you get there, it was another half an hour to get to the meeting, so it was 2 hours away.
Yeah.
Or down to Mesa, that's an hour down and an hour back.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, you know what, Toastmasters belongs in Payson.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So-
that is great, and that was 4 years ago. So at that point, you had been in Toastmasters for 17 years,
Right.
and I would imagine you had a lot of experience. So it was a little bit easier for you to start the program, having
Right.
been in that long.
Right.
And approximately how many members are in the group? How many people come?
That's a great question. Right now we have 13 members.
Mm-hmm.
We had 4 guests last night, and all 4 of them said they were joining.
Mm.
So they will join the 1st of February. Good grief. They will join the 1st of September,
Okay.
so that they don't have to pay an August fee.
Mhm.
They'll just pay September for $7.50 plus
Mhm.
that $45, taking them through the next 6 months, as I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll get much more than $20 worth of free materials when they join for the newer members. And
Mhm.
those who are past members can pick up right where they left off.
Mm-hmm.
Because all I have to do
Mm-hmm.
is call Toastmasters International,
Mm-hmm.
which was in California. It was in Temecula, California. Now it's in the Denver area in Colorado.
Oh, okay.
And say, this member belonged to such and such a club, and the last time he or she was there was whatever the year was.
Mm-hmm.
And they can immediately look up his record, tell me what his membership number is, and he can pick right up with his educational awards right where he left off.
Mm. No, that is great. That's very convenient. That's for
Yes.
sure. Okay, so again, the meetings are every Tuesday
Correct.
in the boardroom, which is right next to Tiny's. Now, is that next to Tiny's, or is it across the parking lot? Across the parking lot?
It's across the parking lot. If you were going to go to Tiny's restaurant, for example, you would drive in the driveway, and it's
Mhm.
immediately on your right as you're passing by. So you can park right anywhere there in the front. It's right in Suite 1.
Okay, in Suite 1. I think they're the professional office suites, I believe is what is
Yes.
on the sign, just right across from Tiny's. And what time does that start again, and what time does it go until?
It starts at 6:30 every
Okay.
Tuesday evening and
Mhm.
ends at 7:45. And we try to end on time and start on time.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfectly okay to come a little bit early. There's
Mhm.
usually someone at the boardroom somewhere between 6:10 and 6:15 to set up the room.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a nice big banner
Mm-hmm.
that's in the room that says Payson Toastmasters. So when you open the door, you know you're in the right place immediately.
Oh, there you go. And I imagine, do you take your trophy? Does that go there, or I know it's big and heavy, so you probably can't transport it around a lot.
I don't, no.
Yes.
I have an office in my home where I sometimes do Zoom meetings online with other clubs that I
Mhm.
belong to.
Mhm.
And that trophy is so heavy that I don't like to pick it up and carry it anywhere. I'm afraid of dropping it on my feet or dropping it and breaking the trophy.
Yes.
And I just keep it in the background, so it's always visible for anyone who's watching online.
Mhm.
But it stays there. I only brought it in today to show you and your viewers.
Yes, well, thank you so much for bringing that in. And again, if you're watching online on our KRIM FM Facebook page or YouTube channel, you had a chance to see this magnificent trophy. And if you are listening and you didn't get a chance to watch online, you can go back on our Facebook page or YouTube channel and check out this video. So congratulations again,
Thank you
Barb.
so much.
That's an amazing honor. Again, being named Outstanding Toastmaster of the Year for District 3, which is almost all of Arizona. And how many Toastmasters are in District 3?
I don't know the exact number right
Okay.
now. We lost a lot of members because of COVID,
Yes.
and we are regaining members, however,
Mhm.
and that is a wonderful thing. We're also getting brand new clubs,
Mm-hmm.
so they are developing,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a good thing to see the growth restart again,
Mm-hmm.
and having people come back who
Mhm.
had dropped out for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's probably 2,000 or 3,000 Toastmasters in Arizona, but
Wow.
I apologize, I don't
Oh,
know the
no.
exact number.
No worries, yeah. I figured there would have to be quite a few, because Phoenix and surrounding cities, I'm sure there's quite a few Toastmaster clubs
Oh, yes.
in the Phoenix metropolitan area.
Yes, there are.
Mhm. And
Phoenix,
Tucson.
yes. I belong to 7 clubs currently.
7?
Yeah. I know.
Oh my
The
goodness.
pacing club I started,
Okay.
and then several others in the Tucson area
Mhm.
and also in the valley. So
Wow.
it's awesome.
Yes. And again, if you want to check out Toastmasters International, they meet every Tuesday from 6:30 to 7:15, and that is in Suite 1. They call the boardroom in the professional office suites, which are the office building. It's the office building, a long office building with several offices in it, across the parking lot from Tiny's. So just off of Highway 260, if you're heading down to Star Valley, it's on the left-hand side. And I'm sure most people know where Tiny's is.
Sure, it's right next to Tractor Supply.
Yes, such a landmark Tiny's restaurant, and very thankful to see it open again. It's back open, and looks wonderful in there. If you haven't
Does.
been in there, Teresa and her husband did a great remodel, so it looks really nice. But again, check out Toastmasters International. I think it's wonderful for people of any age to just build that confidence in talking to people, talking in front of people, and being able to present a clear and concise speech or presentation. So I think very helpful. And like you said, also if you're retired,
Yes.
it's great to keep the mind engaged.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, and to socialize with other people.
Yes, and remember that all communication actually
Mhm.
is public communication.
Mm.
If you're talking to the cashier at the grocery store or a department store,
Mhm.
or if you're talking to teenage children
Mhm.
or preschool children, that is still public communication.
Mm.
And learning how to speak to them so that they understand what you are saying
Mhm.
and they can communicate back with you is a wonderful thing.
Mhm. Yes. Well, thank you again, Barb, for coming in this morning, and thank you for bringing Toastmasters International to Payson.
Thank you so much for having me here today. It's my pleasure and my honor. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome, and thank you to everyone that was listening and watching today. Have to say hello to Falah watching in Iraq. So
Oh, how
we're international.
wonderful.
Yes, KRIM is international as well. So good morning, Falah, or well, good morning for us and good evening to you. Hope you have a wonderful night. And again, thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring the KRIM Community Spotlight Program. Time to get back to the music with some Fleetwood Mac, Supertramp, Van Halen, and more. But first, let's get a quick update from the National Weather Service. All right, there we go.
Thank you, Chris.
Oh, you are so welcome. Over a little bit. We'll stop this. Thank you guys. Have a great day.